Deloitte predicts that in 2013, a growing range, we're talking tens rather than hundreds, of high-end TV sets will incorporate gesture or voice control to control the TV set. However, we predict that the majority of customers who buy these sets will use gesture or voice control a few times and then revert back to using the standard remote control.
But I've used voice control, gesture control on a number of devices, and they work fine. I mean, more than half the time they do what I want them to.
Yeah, and that is the issue. When we think about remote controls, we actually use them a lot more than we actually realize to control TV. So changing channel, volume up, volume down. If you have a digital video recorder, pausing the live broadcast. You may do that dozens of times an hour. Now, if half, or even say 90% of all your use of the controls are correct, that still leaves a very high error rate. With a standard remote control, in its current format, the error rate is almost non-existent.
That makes sense. But why, technically, I mean, why are voice and gesture so much less reliable or accurate than a remote control?
The thing to remember is remote controls control or have to control very little. It is a pretty simple instruction to say volume up, volume down, channel up, channel down. And now when it comes to voice, what you have is a much greater computational challenge. If you think about a living room where TV is being watched, how do you interpret exactly which sequence of words are being used to control the TV set? When it comes to gesture, so video, it becomes even harder. So when you have an arm moving around, what is that? Is it someone who's excited, or is it someone who's trying to move the volume up 3 notches?
But over time, Moore's law, computational challenges get solved eventually. Will, over time, voice and gesture become much more important than they are today? There must be some tasks that they are almost uniquely better at than a remote control.
Yeah, certainly with Moore's law, things will get faster, bigger, and a lot of this is just looking up databases as quickly as possible. However, when it comes back to how we use TVs, so they will become more and more sophisticated. They will end up with hundreds of functions, of which we'll use very few. So for 99% of what we want from a TV set, 4 buttons on remote control are likely to do the job. When it comes to going to a database and looking up a program that you stored on your DVR and playing it at a certain volume, then perhaps you can use voice control. But you'll probably have to go back to the manual to find out exactly which sequence of words to use or exactly which sequence of gestures to use to control that. So you might as well go back to your remote control.
Well, for 2013, I expect to continue yelling at my television set, but not for it to do anything in return.